AITA for threatening my dad that I will live with my mom full-time if my stepmom doesn't stop bashing her parenting skills. I have been alternating weeks between my parents' homes basically my whole life. They split up when I was a baby and have both remarried since. I've been happy for the most part. I love my stepdad and my siblings, have some on both sides. My only issue has been my stepmom. TBH, I wouldn't say I had any real issues in the past. I do find her more annoying with more strict rules than what I have at my mom's house. She's a vice principal, very serious. But recently, she has been taking shots to my dad and I about my mom and stepdad, which might have always been a thing. But now that I'm older, she is just doing it more in front of me. Saying things like she doesn't take my education seriously. She's never grown up. They flaunt their money in front of her and my dad. They spoil me, they let me get away with everything. I honestly don't even know where she comes up with this. My dad doesn't really say anything, agrees occasionally, but it's been making me angrier and angrier. Obviously, I would never admit it to my dad, but I do love my mom more. She is like the most awesome and important person to me, and hearing my stepmom say crap just made me boil over. I finally broke and yelled at her after she blamed my mom for me getting a poor mark on an exam. I told her to shut her mouth about my mom and that if she said one more word, I would pack a bag and stay with my mom permanently. My dad flipped and yelled at me to apologize, but I told him if he didn't make her apologize that I was leaving. He said my mom would never allow it, and I made the mistake of saying we talked about it before. He then called my mom and started a fight with her, thinking she put me up to this. I couldn't handle it, so I left the house and called my stepdad to come get me. I've been at my mom's, but my dad's been texting and calling every day, jumping from begging me to come home, apologizing, to getting into fights with my mom and stepdad. I feel like an asshole for causing a huge fight between my families. Edit. Thank you everyone for the replies so far. I know I shouldn't have said it was something my mom and I talked about. We did a few years ago when I was like 12 when I wanted to stay longer at my mom's and had like a moment where I got upset and told her it was hard sometimes not seeing her for a week. But that was the only time it was ever mentioned. So I feel like an ass for saying it. As for people asking me about custody agreements, I don't think there is any. They had me really young, 20 years old, and they split when I was a baby. I was with my mom all the time till I was 3 or 4, and then I started spending more consecutive days with my dad. My mom also has never asked my dad for child support, and TBH, I don't think she would even if I stayed full-time. Update. So I have spoken with my mom about it, and it probably made me more mad at the situation. She didn't have a bad word to say about my dad or my stepmom. I told her what that were saying about her, and she apologized to me, saying she loves me, that she's sorry I had be a part of those conversations, that she has big shoulders and can take the criticism and will make it clear to my dad and stepmom that if they have concerns that they can address it with her and my stepdad and leave me out of it. That she would love to have me full-time but doesn't want me to make a decision to not see my dad and my other siblings, who I do miss, because of her. I told her I can't stand the way they talk about her, and she didn't really say anything, just kind of started crying, saying I had a big heart and that she loved me. She told me she will deal with my dad and to let her know when I'm ready to talk to him about the situation.